Wow, trucks are starting to become a hot commodity again. It looks like the used truck market is starting to move up. But the real question is it real? Is it speculation? Or is it just fake news? Well, let's test out that theory together. And the way we're gonna do it is simple. We're gonna look at the latest results at the Ritchie Bros auctions over the last 45 days, and we're gonna compare those numbers to the prices that were sold in 2025. Because if the market is truly moving, the numbers will definitely tell the story. Here are our contenders. Number one, we're gonna do a 2023 Freightliner Cascadia, and then we're gonna take the 2021 dry van trailers, and we're gonna compare to the recent results versus the end of 2025. For this part, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna also take a notepad so we can break this down properly and together, because if prices are really climbing, you should be able to see it clearly in the numbers. No opinion, no guessing, just actual solid numbers. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So here are the results from 2025. So the last 4 or 5 months of 2025, and I asked it to give me all of the Freightliner Cascadias between 500 to 750,000 kilometers. For my American friends, 500,000 kilometers divided by 1.61, that's 310,000 miles. 310,000 miles to 465,000 miles. So let's look at what sold. Okay, we have about at least 14 or 15 units sold. I think we're gonna have a very clear indication of what's happening. So you can see here that the 2023s sold for $76,000. So that range that I chose, you could see here, $76,000, $76,000, $75,000, 76, 79, 76, 79, 74. I think we have a very, very clear indication that it's between $70,000 to $80,000, okay? There's a couple of ones that sold a little bit higher, but majority of them sold for, you can see here, this one sold for $65,000, $70,000, $64,000. So I think on average, it's safe to say, I would say it's $75,000 to $80,000, okay? So we have $75,000 to $80,000 for our 2023 that sold at the end of 2025. Now, what we're looking for is, did the exact same truck go up in value? So now we're gonna open up the last 45 days. So all the Freightliner Cascadias that sold in the last 45 days. Right away, you can see that something is happening in the last 3 months. So you can see here, look at the same kilometers, identical kilometers, the same Freightliner Cascadia. I just chose all the auctions in the last 45 days. And here is what is happening with the same 2023 Cascadia. So you have here $95,000 truck, $101,000, another $90,000, another $95,000, another $93,000. One of them is $85,000, missing a bumper. But then you have the $97,000, you have $105,000, 108, you have 87,000, and again, this is identical kilometers as the other one. So I would say that the average truck here would be between $90,000 to $95,000 for the identical truck over the last 3 months. So before I get into the dry vans, one important thing you should know: the Ritchie Bros auctions does have financing options available. So if you're looking at equipment and you're thinking, I don't have financing, I don't have the cash, you don't need the liquid cash in order to participate at the Ritchie Bros auctions. Now, if you're looking for the financing, I can connect you with their lenders. All you have to do is comment the word financing in this video or any other video on my platform. You will get an automatic message with the contact info for the financing. Now, let's get into the dry vans. We did the exact same thing on the dry vans. So we went from $75,000 to $90,000 for the trucks. Now we're gonna do the exact same exercise for dry vans. So let's look at the dry vans. But you can see here, the dry vans sold for $21,000, $19,500, $26,000, $22,000, $27,000, $23,000, $27,000. 2021 Great Dane sold for $26,000. Then you have 25, 27, 15. We're not going to count that one. That's something probably wrong with that trailer. But 26, 24, 28. So I would say that the average that I see here is between 22,000 to 23,000 would be the average for a 2021 dry van. Okay. Now, if we were to look at the last 45 days to see if they went up in value, you can see here that they went up 23,000, 27, 26, 21, 27, 23, 28, 21. So I do see an uptick in the dry van trailers also. And I would say that the average is probably more around the 24 to $25,000. So here's my conclusion. It's pretty obvious to me that the market has shifted. And based on the analysis that I did here together with you guys, I can say that the average price of a 2023 Cascadia in the last 3 months went up by 20% versus the end of 2025. So we have a 20% increase in the trucks. When it comes to the trailers from 22 to 23 and then now it's 24 to 25, I would say it's between 10 to 15% up for the dry van trailers. Now, some of you are probably thinking, auctions, I don't know, is it safe? Should I, shouldn't I? But here's the good news. I have personally documented how I bought and sold both trucks, trailers, all my commercial equipment. I've been to the auctions here in Ontario. I also went down to the auction in Orlando. I spoke directly with the account reps. I looked into units, inspected equipment. Now, if you want access to the entire playlist of the buying, of the selling, of how to, what to, all the difficult questions that I had for those account reps, all you have to do is comment the word auction and I will automatically send you over that playlist. Now, that playlist already has about 350,000 views because people are actively using that information before making the decision of buying or selling at these auctions. And honestly, right now, this information matters most because you definitely don't want to overpay. Now, because this market keeps moving, the next 60 days could look very different, meaning if I did the exact same video in 90 days from today, who knows, maybe the truck prices are gonna go up even higher. But what I do know is that you need to stay up to date with what's happening in the market. So make sure that you're following this channel so I can keep you updated on what I see next in our industry. I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.